right. Welcome. Thanks for listening and watching, right? It's all about video now, to our maiden episode. And I could not think of a better person who I've known a really long time. See, he knows it too. It's my good friend we're going back 30 years.
That's pretty horrible, but yeah.
Jamie Stewart, looking good.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
What up,
it. You
Doug?
too.
You're looking good. You sound good. So let's just do it. Let's first let the friends at home, because they're already friends.
Yeah, okay.
Let's assume they let them know about you, about us.
Oh,
Who is
really?
Jamie Stewart? Who's Jamie
You
Stewart?
want to reveal that?
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit.
Well, all right, guys. I'll make this real quick so nobody gets bored. Steve and I went to college together at Syracuse University. I don't call him Steve. I call him Sint. Sint is short for scintillating because in freshman year, the first day at the dorm, they said, go around the room, describe one word to describe you. And Steve said, scintillating. And I thought that was really odd. So we went with Sint, and he has been known as Sint for 30-something years. You all can call him that. I've been a sports reporter for 20-something years, still doing it. Long Island area, love it. Love talking to Steve. I'll try to call you Steve. Can I call you Steve, or should I just call you Sint?
You call me anything you want.
And any time I want.
That's also true. That's also true.
Yes.
Holy cow. This has gone to PG-13 already.
I want people to start calling you Sint. I want to bring that back. So if you guys can, SCINT, short for scintillating, Sint is what he should be called.
Well, we could do that. We could do that today. It might catch on. So you are, and this is one of the things that I realized very early on as a native New Hampshireite in central New York.
All right.
A lot of surrounded by New York. Got a lot of Boston up there too, but surrounded by New York. And
Yes.
you showed me a side of the Jets and the Knicks and Islanders fan.
Yeah.
I mean,
by the way, since we've known each other,
yeah,
none of those teams has won anything.
They've won nothing.
Nothing.
This is amazing. When
Boston has.
Oh my God. I think about how big a friggin' loser, well, yeah, I was, in the 90s. And I would have done anything to win anything. Like
Right.
anything.
And now,
oh my God, it was like being at Old Country Buffet where the table moved to you. You know those buffets?
Oh, we won again.
Oh no, there's more ice cream. And like, I'm kind of sick of ice cream
this year. I'll say. Yeah, so
what's it like? What's it? I mean, are we in the middle of, is this the same feeling as 25 years ago for you?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm a Yankees fan, and the Yankees are the only reason I am, I still have hair. And they haven't won in a while, sorry.
But, not a gimme.
Yeah, but yes, I mean, so basically in a nutshell, the Yankees, are always pretty good. They haven't won in a long time, so Yankee fans are annoyed. But forget that. The Knicks we'll talk about the Knicks finally starting good. The Jets are in their worst decade plus, I think, ever. It's horrible. And everybody thought it would change with Aaron Rodgers. It somehow got worse. And maybe it'll turn around now because law of averages. But I mean, the Browns have been horrible forever. So who knows? But the Jets, I live and die with the Jets. And even I am like, how many times do you get beaten over the head?
I mean, you know what? We'll start with the Jets because after 20 years of awesome, it's been a pretty rough 5 years up here. And we think we got the guy.
I feel bad for you.
Oh yeah. Nobody feels bad. Like I was in Kansas City where my wife, Sandy, is from. And of course, right, they're the Patriots of the 2020s kind of thing, which they love it when I say it that way too. They're like, you were the Chiefs of the 2000s and 2010s.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, well,
yeah.
And they are nice people out there, except when you mention that you're a Patriots fan and the hate that comes out everywhere, anywhere. They're like, it's about time. You deserve it. You deserve pain.
I
These are
don't
the
disagree with them, but I mean the Jets get Rodgers and they're still horrible. And this year the Patriots will probably be better than the Jets already. So we're back.
well. See, that's the thing. So I was listening to some national show after the draft, and the rosters will get tweaked a little more, but we basically know what we've got here, right? The teams, the draft is done, the free agency is done, and there's this assumption, including on the gambling odds, that the Jets are the worst team in the AFC East. I think their over/unders 5.5 right now.
Because Justin Fields is the quarterback and they have a first time head coach. So they don't know.
So, I mean, if you take the and you can't, but if you take the quarterback part out of it for a second, we can talk about Fields in a second, and you
Yeah.
take the rest of the roster, it's a pretty good roster.
It's not the worst in the league for sure.
I mean, I think it, like, if somebody said it's an above average roster outside of the quarterback, I would buy that, right?
I mean, maybe. I think the defense is above average. But on the offensive line, they have 4 or 5 first round picks on the line. So this is it. It's now or
Yeah,
never.
I mean,
Brees
and
Hall is
how do you
pretty
feel about the
good.
coach? I mean, it seems like a
So
pretty good hire.
Aaron, well, so first off, remember the Jets interviewed Mike Vrabel.
Yes.
Supposedly went very well. And then miraculously, like a day later, the Patriots had an opening. How'd that happen?
When that was going down, people up here were so mad that we didn't hire Vrabel last year. And look, I think Gerard Mayo was not ready to be a head coach, but he was given a crap sandwich and then was fired for being a crappy chef. And I'm like, I don't think any coach is winning 7 games. I mean, it's incredible how little talent we had.
But you still beat the Jets.
Right. Well, that's true. Like
with Aaron Rodgers.
So, like, how do you feel about Justin Fields?
So I'll say this. I don't want to bore Patriot fans. I will say this. The Jets have tried every single way to get a quarterback, right? Rookie guy, top 3 pick, bring in the veteran, trade, anything you possible. The Jets, Sanchez was the 5th pick. Darnold was the 3rd pick. Zach Wilson was the 2nd pick. They bring in Ryan Fitzmagic for 1 year, was amazing.
Yes.
Still didn't make the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, literally everything.
Everybody.
The one thing they really haven't done is bringing a young guy who has potential, who actually has some experience. And that is where we lie now with Justin Fields. I'm not saying he's going to be great. I have no idea. Odds are he probably won't. And, if the Jets are the team to turn Justin Fields around, that's
amazing.
Let's be honest. Right. The shocker of all shocks.
That would be a shocker.
Right. Now, Justin Fields was picked like 6 or 7 picks after Zach Wilson.
Yep.
So I actually wanted Justin Fields instead of Zach Wilson. I have no doubt the Jets would have ruined him if they picked him. But maybe 4 years later, maybe a run-oriented offense, heavy offense, read option. Aaron Glenn seems to think that Justin Fields has not been unlocked and has untapped potential and feels that he can do it. We'll see.
Did I read right? Zach Wilson is the backup in Miami.
And did you see the number he picked?
No. Well, he's self-aware.
Right? That was the number he chose. So he's number 0. He's backing up Tua Tagovailoa, and I'm sure
he'll be playing like 8 games this year.
Right, and it'll be against the Jets, and he'll throw for 350 yards.
Wow. Zach Wilson as your backup plan for Tua is like having like a crappy 1996 Honda with 280,000 miles, and then the car you buy in case is a 1994 Honda with 3 billion miles on it. You're like, I think we're covered.
Right. Yeah. It's not exactly
not
the safest, landing spot there. I agree.
I mean, look, You could totally be better than Miami this year.
Honestly, Sint, I'm done. I'm done hoping. I want the Jets to show me because I bought in to all the hype with Rodgers. I didn't really want Rodgers at first because I thought it was like, even if he's good, it's going to be for like a year. But I bought in by the end of by hard knocks. But it was time when it was over. I was like, all right, let's go. We've got a great defense. If we could score 22 points, we're going to win 10 games. And he tears his Achilles. So I'm like, oh, I forgot it's the Jets.
That
So
was an
now I'm done.
unreal moment. What was that? What was that like? That moment?
So to give you an idea of what it was like, everybody, when all of my friends watch Jet games and anything amazing happens, they only think of one person, and it's me. Like, what is Jamie thinking? I've got to find out. No one texted me when that happened. They felt so bad, they couldn't believe it. And I watched, and now because I'm like a, sycophant watching this, he gets sacked on the fourth play. No big deal. He gets up,
Right.
and I see there's a 2-second camera shot of him, like a millisecond of a limp, like a
Yes.
millisecond of a limp, and then they turn away. No one says anything yet. And my
Yes.
first thought was, why is he limping? Like, what did he like tweak his knee? And then the next shot is him on the floor.
Yes.
And my brother calls me, and I said, he's done. He's out for the year. It's Vinny Testaverde 99 all over again. It's over. And there you go.
I mean, everybody was watching that game, right?
Everybody.
Everybody
It
was
like
watching the game.
the closest thing I've ever come to the Jets in the Super Bowl.
Oh, it was, and Sandy, who has become an enormous football fan, and it wasn't
That's
just
great.
when the Chiefs started winning the Super Bowl all the time. Basically, I mean, first of all, my kids who are now 20, almost 22 and almost 20, they were born in 03 and 05, and all they know is that mom or dad's team is in the Super Bowl every year.
And all my kids know are the Jets are the worst team in the league. The Jets never win anything. And they say to me every year,
though? Have they inherited your Jets fandom?
Actually, so no. So I have two daughters, 16 and 13.
Yeah.
The 16-year-old, I could not care less and basically makes fun of me when they lose. Which
that's nice.
I kind of feel is, I feel like I've let myself down as a dad. Like she should be like wearing the jersey on the couch, but she's very, very smart and very cerebral. And she's just like, no, they're horrible. Why would I root for them? I'm like, I don't know, maybe because your dad likes them. My other one has more of a heart and will come downstairs. Did the Jets win? No. Okay. Back upstairs.
Wow.
It's good for them, though.
Good for them. I mean,
good for them.
It is sort of there is an element of dad keeps stubbing his toe on the wall. Maybe I shouldn't walk the same way he does. And there is an IQ element to that, but once you're in, you're in.
Right. And part of me, not to sound like sexist, but that's the only part of me that's glad I didn't have a son, is because if I did have a son, I know he'd be on the couch with me every Sunday and he'd be so miserable. Because at least when I was growing up, the Jets, they had moments. It was basically every 2 to 3 years they were in the playoffs.
Yep.
Ken O'Brien, and then Parcells came, and Testaverde and Pennington. They were like in the mix at least.
Yes. Well, you know what? The first football game I remember ever watching, like ever. So I was born in 74. So in early, I think it was 82. So I'm like just turned 8 kind of thing.
Like the AFC Championship?
You got it. It was that rain, like the
Mud Bowl.
Yes. And it was like 6-0 or 9-0 or something.
It's because the Jets had a great offense. So it had a torrential downpour the night before.
Yes.
And Shula told them to not put the tarp on the field.
Yes.
And make the field completely muddy and neutralize everything, the Mud Bowl.
And I remember watching that being like, I can't believe how much water there is. And what was it? David Woodley, I think, was the quarterback. This was before Marino
Oh
and
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
Miami. And then they win the game, and then I watched the next game, and so my first favorite player was John Riggins,
Oh, okay.
the Washington then Redskins
Yes.
running back who was just, uh, I mean, ultimate beast.
Yeah. Former Jet, by the way.
Former Jet. That's right. Well, you didn't need him. Whoops. Yeah. So that was, yeah. So my first NFL game I can ever remember watching was the Mud Bowl. So there you go. Even
I
before I watched the Pats game, that was the first game I'd watched
well,
because there
I
was
mean,
hype, right? It was like AFC Championship.
yeah,
And
the AFC Championship game. Winner goes to the Super Bowl.
by the way, one of the sneaky, weirdest games of the whole Brady Belichick dynasty was that Mark Sanchez division round victory by New York. Like we were really good, and Sanchez came into the building and took care of us.
So I will say this is very sad, because talking to a Patriots fan, that most likely is the best Jets victory I've ever had.
Maybe, yeah, right.
It is because I've never seen them win a Super Bowl. I've never seen them go to a Super Bowl.
Yep,
So that would mean the only thing I could see would be what's the next round before that, and that's winning to get to the championship game, which
right.
they did, and they beat the Patriots in New England,
In New
beat
England,
Brady, beat Belichick, and you remember a month earlier the Patriots had waxed the Jets by like 42.
yes.
So that was the best victory I've ever had.
It's funny as it's now history that it's how your memory plays games on you,
Yeah,
and it's easy to forget now that it wasn't like this steady drumbeat where we win 6 Super Bowls and it's like every 3 years. It's like 3 Super Bowls and then a decade with
and
no
nothing.
Super
Yeah.
Bowls.
Right.
And with a couple of times there, but like, I mean, that undefeated season, Super Bowl loss, I mean, that's that if we didn't have all the wins, that would have been like Bill Buckner-esque in the
I mean, that
painfulness of it.
was still to this day. I'll watch the Tyree play, and I don't believe it's gonna. I don't believe it happened. I don't believe Eli wasn't sacked, and I don't believe
Oh,
he caught it. I couldn't believe either one of them. So let me ask you this:
yeah.
how many Super Bowls the Patriots have won? What, like 6 Super Bowls?
We won 6. Yep. Yep.
Would you? What was your last? The last one they won was it Seattle
It was that
or
Rams one that there wasn't a lot of scoring going on, and we won it, I think
right? Yeah, that wasn't that
13-3.
good. That wasn't that good. That
That
was
was
pretty
the
boring.
defensive win,
Would
not
you
an
give
offensive
up?
win.
Would you give up the Rams Super Bowl win
Yep.
and the Seahawks Super Bowl win
Oh.
to reverse the Tyree play and you sack Eli Manning and win the Super Bowl, go undefeated, have the season, finish with 4 Super Bowls, not 6?
So, well, we had this sounds so a whole Patriots fan. So
Just answer it.
we here do I get to keep the Falcons 28-3 one? Cuz that I got to tell you,
That was pretty awesome. Yeah,
that
sure.
if I get to keep that one, but I have to give up the Malcolm
Rams.
Butler interception at the goal line
Right.
and the Rams, that last Rams one, but I get the undefeated season. Yeah, I think I take that. I think I
So
take that.
Brady you get okay, you get 4.
So we 5 because we had the 3 at the beginning. Then we would have won the 4th because it was the Rams won the first one that we won at the
Right, right.
final gun, and then that Carolina Panthers one
Which
that
was
was actually an
really
awesome
all
game.
your wins were like by 3.
I mean that Panthers one, nobody remembers, Jack Delhomme and all that, but that game was amazing. There was almost no scoring for till almost halftime, and then
But
it
then
just
there
went
was a lot.
bananas.
Yeah.
Oh, and then in some ways, probably the least interesting one of them all was that Eagles one that we won with Donovan
Right.
McNabb. Where McNabb, and hey, we love Donovan McNabb. Go
Yeah.
Cuse, but he they had like this 11-minute. They were down by 2 scores,
Well, that
and
was what Terrell Owens, like, remember he played after he, like, tore his knee and, like, was out
crazy
the whole
injury,
season?
and oh,
Yeah.
um, And that was a 3-point game. And so we had those. Then we lost the Giants one we were talking about. Then we lost that other Giants one.
2 to the Giants.
Yeah, that second one, I like. Wes Welker catch the ball.
Is right. If Welker catches the ball, you win.
Yep.
If Eli gets sacked, you win.
Yep.
So is Eli a Hall of Famer?
I mean,
because if those 2 plays don't happen, he's not a Hall of Famer.
No, 0%. Right. But he wins 2 Super Bowls, and there are very few quarterbacks with 2 rings who aren't in, right? Or that won't definitely be in.
Right. If I think it was who is it? The Raiders quarterback.
Stabler.
Plunkett?
Plunkett won. Well, Stabler got in. Right.
Plunkett I think got in, and I think he is too. But yeah. So if Wes Welker catches the ball, Eli's not a Hall of Famer, but he drops it, so he is.
It's kind of weird because nobody would argue Eli's a Hall of Famer
if he had
with 1 ring, right? So either of those 2 things happen. Remember that the undefeated one, Asante Samuel, has a pick go through his hands that would have ended the game.
Yep.
I mean, now to be fair, like about 20 things had to go right for us to beat the Falcons.
That is true.
We needed all of them.
Right. I mean, you kind of got the football gods gave it back to you years later with that Falcons.
I mean, true story. I was at somebody's house and he had about 20 folks over, obviously all Patriots fans. This was in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And then at halftime, we're getting our ass kicked. And about half the people go home because the Super Bowl always starts late, and they should do it. They should find a way to have the Super Bowl be 1 weekend later and then have the President's Day.
I think they're trying to do that, right?
Right. That would be awesome. Then you get drunk, you do whatever. You could anyway, I suppose. So but it's a different podcast. So I drive a bunch of people home and I come back. I'm like, I'm ride or die. So I come back and they score a touchdown but they miss the extra point. So it's 28-9.
Mm-hmm.
And that extra point almost could easily cost us the game.
Yeah.
So it's 28-9, and I go over to the host and, sit next to him. I'm like, all right, it's touchdown, 2-pointer, touchdown, 2-pointer, field goal, overtime. And he says something about my IQ being low. And then of course not in that order, but it happens. But the next day it hit me. I wake up, it's like 9 a.m. and I've been up for a little bit, and all you can hear is that's all anybody's talking about, right?
Yeah.
On TV, anything. And there was this moment that I actually was overwhelmed with emotion because I realized at that moment that I had this incredible blessing that my team, since I was a kid, it's official. We just did the most unbelievable thing ever with the greatest quarterback ever and the greatest coach ever. Until then, you could be like, oh, well, the Steelers won 4 and Montana. That was the one that I think most folks were like, all right, this is probably the greatest stretch ever. And in the most unlikely outcome, comeback ever. And I'm just like, this is how can the same person get to come back from 3-0 and beat the Yankees and all that stuff? And
all
then
right, I'm going to end this podcast now. I'm not talking.
I have to go blow my nose. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean,
oh my God,
I thought I was your guest.
Oh my God, I'm about to emote.
Yeah, we in the pre-talk, we did not discuss. Let's go over Yankees Red Sox.
Oh no!
Back in
no!
Whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that.
Let's talk about
show, but that's off boundaries.
That's off the table. That's right. That wasn't even in the green room. Make it sound like
I don't even know what year that was.
Yeah. Who knows? All right. How about something that's probably a lot more joyful? What up, Knicks? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was I was perusing some Boston websites, and fans aren't too happy with that embarrassing second half performance where it looked like it was an insult to basketball the way the Celtics were playing offense.
I mean, that's as poor. I mean, there were a lot of open looks from three that we
Sure.
missed. But
It's
obviously,
like you're up 20
I know.
and like the next like 15 possessions were threes. Like just drive.
Well, this is, I mean, and look, this is the Celtics at their worst. And the year that we lost to Golden State in the finals, we like this. We weren't as good, in part because we'd get in this like fiddle and diddle for 15 seconds between the rings, and then like, oh no, there's 8 on the clock.
Right.
Somebody like shoot a three, and
Yeah.
that's not offense.
I mean, I thought I have to admit, every time you took the three, I thought it was going in and you missed them all. And, the Knicks were a good team. I mean, they're a 50-something win team. It's taken a year basically because you got to, they've recomposed the entire team. They didn't have the mental toughness and the defense that they did last year. Remember now, last year, if they weren't ravaged in the playoffs with injuries, they would have made the conference finals and then lost to you guys. But it would have been, somewhat competitive, I think.
That
But
would
we
have been
would have
good. A
lost.
good
We would
series.
have lost. But they would have been in the conference finals. So now they lost that defensive identity, but they gained it back a little bit, the toughness against the Pistons, because the Pistons brought them into a dogfight, a back alley brawl. They weren't that impressive, but they slugged it out with them. And say what you want, Brunson's ridiculous. He's just ridiculous. I'm not sitting there going, "Oh my God, this guy's Jordan." No, and he looks like a 6'2" Elijah with his footwork. But the guy is ridiculous. I mean, he's averaging 30 something a game every playoff game since he's been here.
Uh, I mean, the clutch and the clutch element, which I know some folks are like, "There's not really clutch or good or not good and all that."
He's very
But
clutch.
he is one of the people. If there is an exception, right? He would. I mean, he's the guy in the fourth quarter. If it's close, he's one of the few guys in the NBA. I'm like, well, he's single. He's got it
You
better than
don't. I
almost
mean,
anybody else in that situation.
look, the Celtics are a better team than the Knicks. I don't know what's going on with Porzingis, if he's going to play or not.
Yeah.
I don't know his illness. I mean, that's a big loss if he doesn't play. I know he didn't play great in the first round, but still, he gave the Knicks fits. And if he doesn't play, the Knicks have confidence. I mean, the Celtics blew him out every game, and they just beat him. So I don't know what's going to happen, the rest of the series, but the Knicks are not scrubs. I mean, they got Brunson, who's a top 10 player. They got Karl Anthony Towns. They got OG Anunoby.
Anunoby looked like the best player in the game the other night.
Yeah, he looked like Pippen. I
Yeah.
mean, they've got players. They've got a good coach.
Yep.
I don't think they're better than the Celtics, but if the Celtics don't have Porzingis and they shoot horribly, the Knicks are not a scrub team.
Well, I mean, Porzingis missed, I think, 40 games this year. And part of why he was available in the first place is concerns about his health in the long term. And even in our run last year, remember, he missed some games in the finals. I mean, he's a freak physically,
Right.
but he also is prone to injury. And in this case, apparently
It's an
illness. They say non-COVID. He
viral
looked
illness.
awful the other night.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's playing. I think he's going to play, give it a go. But yeah, I mean, I thought the Celtics in 6 before the series started, and I still think that. But I do think the Celtics are playing a dangerous game because they're not playing winning basketball. And if you give the team confidence like the Knicks are starting to have, put it this way, the Celtics do not want a close game in fourth quarter.
Well, no, like we were saying earlier. I mean, do you feel like the Knicks played about as well as they can the other night?
No, no.
See,
The
I
Knicks
think
missed
they
like
could do better. Yeah.
15 free throws.
Yep.
They were horrible. That's the thing that people say. And it's a good point. People like the Celtics were the worst shooting team I've ever seen in my life, and it still took overtime to beat them. Okay, that's fine. Uh-oh. Did I lose you?
Oh, nope. I
Are
hear
still
you.
there?
Yep.
Something popped up on my screen.
Oh, my.
But look, the Knicks missed like 15 free throws. Karl Anthony Towns was bad, and they still won. I mean, I could play it like that. So if the Knicks just missed 6 free throws, they would have won by 7. So who knows?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, they were down 20 points. That's clearly not the best the Knicks can play. So, like, even if they don't play as well as they did, say at the last quarter plus of the game, if they're just not as bad as they were in the first half of the game, I mean, and what I worry about, Jaylen Brown does not look right.
No.
Uh, he went 1 for 10 from three. He'll do better than that, but his knee is not right. Hauser, who helps an awful lot with the threes, he's injured.
Right. So he's
Porzingis
injured.
is something.
Right. So the Celtics are better than the Knicks. And then you take away Porzingis and Hauser, and Brown's not as good.
Yep.
And now they're still better, but not by that much anymore.
Well, and Horford, who has been remarkable into his late 30s, he's been able to be this effective. But we've been able to manage his minutes to keep him effective. He played 34 minutes the other night. And that's not what we want him doing. But if Porzingis is out or as ineffective as he was, he has to play 30-plus minutes, and he will not be effective at the end of the series. So he's a problem.
Yeah, I just think, like I said, again, I do think the Celtics are better. I think they'll win, but I think the Knicks are a dangerous team because they're getting more and more confident. The Celtics are getting injured. It's almost like a little bit like the Patriots when they were undefeated going against the Giants. The Giants, that hungry pass rush. They lost to the Patriots in the final game of the regular season, but it was close.
Awesome game.
Very close at the Meadowlands at the time. Gave the Giants confidence. Patriots let them hang around, and then boom.
So game 2 is actually will be before this comes out. So we could look, all of a sudden Jaylen Brown scores 3 billion points, and we're like, well, I guess he's all right.
Porzingis goes up everywhere. I didn't want to date it. That's why I didn't say it. But who knows? I mean, all right, now that it's going to be, we were saying it, I assume the Celtics are going to win game 2, but you never know.
I mean, it's official. Like if the Celtics lose game 2, it's officially like, what's up? And then we basically try to get Bird to play.
I mean, look at the Cavs. The Cavs were supposed to blow out the Pacers. They lost again the other night.
I mean, the Pacers, actually, and I mean, look at it. Denver, and with OKC, you got Indiana wins the first 2 games at Cleveland.
Knicks in Boston.
In Boston. What's the other series out west? Golden State wins.
They lost.
They won game 1 on the road, even though Curry hurt his hammy. So
Golden State, they lost in Minnesota, didn't they?
I think they won.
No.
See, this is the beauty. See, folks think that this is all scripted.
I don't think that's true.
I'm sorry, I'm still in a fog about that 28-3 Atlanta game.
Oh my God, you're right.
Right, I think, but I'll tell you this: they won, but if Curry's not playing, or if he's
not going to, he's got a straight hamstring. He won't play game 2, probably not game 3.
I mean, I've used a pulled hamstring to avoid doing yard work for an entire season. I mean, this is,
If your wife is watching this, you can't expect Curry till 2026.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, he can't even do dishes.
No, I mean, he's got to just be on the bed and just lay up.
TV, got to watch TV. That helps, like Red, or not. But I'm not a doctor, so I'm going to listen to the doctors on Google.
The hamstring is very, very tender. You don't want to risk it or rush it.
There we go. That's there you go. The combined knowledge. Your wife has the medical background.
Yes, but through osmosis, I've gotten some. So
that's right, Dr. Stuart. All right, we got to hit the Yankees. The people are pretty freaked out about the Red Sox over here because I think we got a little too jacked up that we were going to be unreal, and we may end up the season in a very good place. But right now, we're not looking so great, and we're looking up at the Yankees by, I think, 2-3 games or so. Okay, the Yankees, I'd kill for that 1-2 punch.
Well, it was supposed to be Garrett Cole and Fried and Rodon. That sounds pretty good. Cole, Fried, Rodon. But Cole's done. That killed him. Fried's been really good.
Awesome.
Fried's been really good. Rodon hasn't been bad. He's close to the league in strikeouts.
Yeah.
But Lewis Heel has been out, lat surgery, so he's got like another month. They had Will Warren, who's horrible. They designated Carlos Carrasco for assignment. They have rotation problems, but the biggest thing they have is Devin Williams. I don't know what happened. He turned into Jeff Gessoff because Devin Williams is horrible. Devin Williams, his ERA is over 10.
Yeah.
In the last 2 seasons, he gave up 13 earned runs in the last 2 years. He has already matched that in 11 and 2/3 innings with the Yankees. I don't know. He lost his closer role. Luke Weaver, we converted from starter to reliever.
Yep.
The Yankees have 5 losses when leading in the 8th inning or later this year.
I mean, if you look at how many runs they've scored, how many they've given up, and they got the Pythagorean, the Bill James, what's your expected one loss? If I tell you how many runs you got and how many, they should be right at the top of baseball right now. They should be basically something like 24-12 or something. And, the Red Sox are a game below 500, and arguably the best player on the team is in AAA. Roman Anthony, I mean, I am so excited. But the problem, and it's one of the biggest dumb debates on Red Sox Twitter, which is where all dumb debates go.
Right.
Is we can't
Twitter
play
real?
them.
Is Twitter real? Like I see the comments, and I'm confused now. I don't even know if it's real or just bots. I think they're all bots.
There's some of these bots that one of those moments where your ego takes a hit is you're like, okay, I have curated a thoughtful post, and it is something about like Caitlin Clark's like her amazing accuracy from like 30 feet out, and you're like, oh my god. And then all of a sudden 2 things happen within you're like, send, data, send, and then tweet, and then or X or whatever you do with it. And so then immediately there'll be somebody like, Sunny Babelicious. Immediately you're like, oh, notification. So you're like, great, let's see who's praising my intellect. And it's like it's a like from a bot with zero followers that's like wearing a bathing suit. And I'm like, okay, that's not good. And then eventually 78 people who think Angel Reese is better than Caitlin Clark immediately comment and then call me dirty words. So that's Twitter at this point.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
It's the meme, and just like the responses are so like mind-blowingly dumb, and I don't know if they're human, and I hope that they're not, and then I think that they are, and it's always the person with it's not their face,
right?
It's not their face, and then you find out because someone does like a deep dive like search into this guy, and they find out that he's like a middle school teacher of 3, and it's like, oh my god. It's just ridiculous.
Or the folks with courage, it's like they're like get your ass off Twitter, old man. Or like, they're like baldy old man. And I'm like, I just quoted the OPS plus of Alex Verdugo. I'm really sorry. And they and then they're like, all right, person of courage, you're like AGL0 underscore 23,198. And I'm like, reveal yourself.
Yeah. It's a cesspool, as they say, but I don't even know anymore. I do think since I'm sorry, where's that? Oh, that was my dog. I thought my dog was escaping.
I thought Musk was coming in to take you out.
Yeah, I was about to say something about Musk too. No, I do think since it converted to X, it is just my algorithm, my timeline is just so off now. The things that I see, I don't care about like 70% of it. I'm like, am I following for you? Following? Like, what's going on? Because where did this person I don't follow this person. Why am I watching this? It's horrible.
Knitting, that kind of stuff. So
I like knitting. No.
I mean, well, now that's all I see on Twitter. So we You know what? We got a few minutes left. Your background in the sports broadcasting field, one of the things in
Yeah,
politics that we're talking a lot about, and it's actually, speaking of Twitter, it's an Elon Musk quote. At least he is credited with it. Um, Somebody asked him the other day about whether it's Republicans or Democrats. I'm sorry, after the election last fall, Republicans, Democrats, who is better at being able to communicate through conventional media, legacy media, whatever you want to call it, to get their message out to the viewers. And he said, the thing you don't get is you are the media now. And then he got into the kind of how you can, if you're lucky and you're good at it, and helps if you get the money, can curate your own platform in a way that eventually you kind of don't try to filter it through somebody else. You go be your own media, get your own
right.
message out. I mean, I see that in the political sphere all the time now. In the sports sphere, I mean, is that a thing? Like, do you see how that's evolved as the technology, social media over the course of your career? Are people kind of their own media now?
I definitely think so. I mean, social media has changed everything. And like you said, I mean, you don't need, back in the day, it's like, oh, I want to say something, but, I'm not going to be invited by Walter Cronkite to the studios in Manhattan to figure this out. So I can't do it. I mean, you're right. Everybody has a voice now, for better or for worse. And I think absolutely with sports, I mean, you look at, John Boy Media, for example. I don't know
Yes,
if you're familiar with John Boy,
sure.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And he's got a huge platform, and it has this whole company now, and it basically started with like him recording like managers getting thrown out, and he would sit there and he would basically read their lips and do a voiceover of what they're saying. Hey, screw you. And he would play it. And it was so funny and it was dead on accurate. And it caught fire. People shared it and he kept doing it. And now he's got his own media production company. Obviously, we see Barstool Sports is unbelievable, huge. That's Boston.
Right.
So I do think social media now allows anyone, for better or for worse, to have a voice, and you can create your own. I know people for a fact that have basically quit their jobs and said, I'm going to do this thing full time, whether it's I'm going to start a Jets YouTube channel and I'm going to get, hopefully I'll get 100,000 subscribers and then I'll have a Jet guy on and I'll talk to him and, oh, it's the draft. Let me do a little draft guy. And it's a different world now. I thought about it I actually did think about it for a second a while
Yeah.
ago. I was like, maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do this. And it's like, I don't know how easy it is though. Like I do think people look at it like, oh, I'll just create a YouTube channel and start talking about the Jets and I'll get paid. Like I don't think so. So you got to put a lot of time. It's like the influencers. It's like, what are you really doing? You have to put a lot. You edit it right. A lot of time. The product has to be good. You have to have information, get sources. But I do think, long story short, that it has changed tremendously, and it's I think the toothpaste is out of the tube, and I don't think it's going back.
It is, it feels like it is easier than ever to say something. And the question now is how many people will hear it, right? Like, is this, it is so easy to get on the ladder, the rungs of and it's not just your Twitter account. I mean, even with Substack, I saw a sobering statistic the other day, something to the effect of there are like 5 million people that are paid subscribers to at least one Substack account. And I'm like, that's amazing. That's like 1.5% of the whole country. And then they were like, and the top, 50 Substacks are making 70% of the money. So basically, it's a very small number of people that are
Right,
extraordinarily successful at
right,
monetizing it. And the
yeah,
trick is, can you get into, you're not going to get into that tier, with the top 50 necessarily, but can you get, there is the second tier. It's kind of where I'm working to, where it doesn't necessarily pay your mortgage by itself, but it's enough that it's worth the work, right? It kind of pays enough for the work.
Sure, and if you believe in it and you enjoy it, and people can see that you're sincere about it, and you bring something to the table and enjoy it, then hopefully it gets a little popular. And then you never know. I mean, I know someone who basically started out with like a little newsletter that they would email, and long story short, it went from like 500 people to 5,000 people to 50,000 people to, hey, this company wants to buy it. So, those things can happen, but, as always, you only usually hear about the success stories.
Oh, sure. Oh, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Bezos. Yeah, Bezos just. I think he texted me. He wants to purchase this podcast.
Did he? After he
Or
watched
my daughter.
our interaction?
That's right. He just wants our time. There you go. All right. Probably should get going.
All
But
right.
anything you want to promote, sell, hype,
Yeah, I
anything?
mean, if you want to follow me on X,
Yeah.
actually, it's Jamie Stewart TV, JAMIE STUART TV. But other than that, I'm on Long Island, New York. You guys usually hate us, so I get it. No big deal. New York, Boston. I will say this though, I do love Boston. My daughter, I took her on the first college trip I've ever taken my daughter on, and we
Okay.
actually went to BU, BC, Northeastern, Harvard. So
All right.
we checked it all out. Yeah, I mean they
Right
kicked us
kid.
out. They kicked us out, but we went. What?
Oh, I see. Oh, you. Oh,
No, we went on tours, and it was great. And she's only 16, so she's in the process now. So we'll see. We also went to Washington D.C., but I do want to say one other thing really
yeah,
quickly.
sure.
I just did a story for Newsday Sports, which is coming out on Friday, on James Higgins, and I don't know if you're familiar with the name at all, but James Higgins is a hockey player at BC, and
Oh.
he is going to be a top 3 or 4 pick in June's NHL draft. He's a Long Islander, and guess who somehow has the #1 pick in the entire
Oh,
draft? The
yeah.
Islanders.
Right. You guys got the #1 pick.
A 3.5% chance of getting the #1 pick, and they got it. I don't know if they're picking him, but because there are a couple other guys that may be a little better, but that story's coming out on Friday. Yeah, he's a BC guy, but he's from Long Island, and he's a diehard
Oh.
Islander fan.
The Bruins ended up with the worst pick we could have gotten in the lottery. We ended up with the 7th pick. I think we had the 5th worst record, so a couple folks bumped up ahead.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but hey, what are you going to do? So, well, that's a great story. All right, I'm going to
yeah,
pay more attention. I got to
yeah.
admit, hockey, playoff hockey to me is as awesome as any television.
It's amazing. Did you see the other night, like a week or so ago, when the Winnipeg Jets won?
Yeah. What? 1 second?
So I was able to text everyone, all of my friends who are not hockey fans.
Yeah.
What a great time to be a Jets fan.
Oh. JB, if you were born in the wrong country, although it sounds like someday it might end up being the same country anyway. They're working on it. Hey, I'm a dual citizen. I kid because I care.
Thank you.
All right, Jamie, so good to see you.
Sint, you too, my man.
We will do this soon again. And good luck to the Winnipeg Jets.
Thank you. I'm counting on it.
There you go. Thanks, buddy.
All right, see ya.